Mental illness has become one of the most prominent issues faced by young people today.
Well, hundreds of students are in Toronto this weekend wanting to be heard. They're attending a summit on mental health and suicide. It's the first meeting of its kind in Canada and is aimed at getting young people talking about a subject that's often kept quiet. Some of them shared their stories with our Ioanna Roumeliotis. Here's her feature report, Breaking the Silence.
And just making sure I've got everything.
Just realized that, he's completely forgotten to book an MC.
So who's your MC?
Got this.
I'll be back.
It's silly, slapstick, a skit about a conference that is about to start and has no one to run it.
Oh, it's got to be, 15, 20 seconds, like, max.
Behind the brainstorm, a group of savvy students.
I'll be a little off-center towards the building, away from the building.
Taking on a serious subject in a whole new way.
It doesn't have to be all, doom and gloom, sort of sensationalized.
And we feel like by going this route a little bit and having some fun with it, it's a way that you can communicate with our demographic.
We need to bring our students out of the darkness.
Let's go beyond shattering the stigma and raising awareness.
This is a promo for the first mental health summit of its kind, one that will bring together 400 young people from across the country. Students talking to students about what's often the unspeakable.
We're calling it Unleash the Noise. So unleashing the noise is getting that out there and just finally getting that disruption in your head just out by talking to peers, talking to a counselor, whatever it is. I see their main responsibility.
Justin Skyini is the main organizer.
Should we give it more of a personal element by being like a couple lines about our own personal histories of mental health?
He's one of a handful of students at Queen's University who have been meeting for months between classes and midterms. In his case, inspired by his own ignorance.
Where does stigma come from? I thought people who were messed up, as I used to say, just weren't strong enough. So where does stigma come from? It came from me.
Stigma is something Richie Tam has been dealing with since high school.
The example I try to use sometimes with people is that, if I had cancer, you wouldn't run away from me. You would ask me, what can I do to help? Do you want me to hang out with you?
Tam has struggled with severe depression for years. Then he started to hear voices.
Imagine having someone talking to you, but that person's not there. And, they're telling you to do things that you normally wouldn't do, but it's so powerful that you kind of want to.
When Tam was on a school exchange program in Singapore, the voices ordered him to jump off a 15-story balcony. Then it got worse.
I was worried, and doctors were worried that I was going to hurt someone else. And that terrified me because I don't consider myself sort of an evil or a violent person, but for me to, and for other people to think, well, what if he does something? That frightened me, and it got, it pushed me to the brink of suicide.
Tam is slowly getting better. He heard about the summit, volunteered to help, and found a lifeline.
Unleash the Noise has been my medicine. It's been it's just being around good people, being around people who truly want to change the way we think about mental health.
Like at any campus, 1 in 5 students is affected by mental illness, and most don't talk about it. The goal is to use their language, use their medium, to put out the message it's safe to come out of the shadows.
Don't worry about it. Take it as a blessing in disguise.
Your first love will not be your last.
Seek support from your friends and family.
Like the video suggests, a bad mark, a broken heart, a fight with a friend can send a young person over the edge.
It started with me just being tired a lot.
There was a time Matea Dimnik couldn't leave her apartment. Suddenly, everything had become so overwhelming.
And I was really sad, consistently crying, bursting into tears.
Dimnik became so depressed, she had to move back home to Alberta with her parents. Soon after that, she reached for a bottle of Advil.
At first it was, kind of like I was playing a game with myself, almost like you were picking at flowers, should I do it, should I not? So I'd take a pill, and then I'd be like, and then I'd take another pill, and then I'd take another pill, and by the time I'd taken 3 or 4, I was like, yeah, she should do it. The flowers ended, I've pulled off all the petals, and it ended on take it. And that's when I really started feeling the stigma of mental illness on campus, was when I returned.
Dimnik is surviving with counseling and medication. Now she's also using her story to help others.
I want to show them that it gets better. I am here. I am back at school. It was definitely a major part of my healing process.
Dimnik will be one of the delegates at the summit.
I think that it would be really great if mental health was seen the same way that, you know, a regular yearly checkup is seen. I mean, you go in there and they say, okay, well, you know, they listen to your lungs, they check your blood pressure. It would be amazing if that was something that was not only expected, but asked and demanded for by the public.
We're going to have some unbelievable discussion and get some
And this is the generation demanding it, demanding a new openness and a new acceptance.
And if everyone is doing that, just think about how many mental illnesses you can prevent. And beyond that, if everyone is doing that, then saying I'm going to see my counselor for depression or anxiety will be the equivalent of saying I'm going to see my doctor for some back pain I've been having. All right, you ready? Okay, recording. Okay.
Back in the streets of Toronto, Skyany is still on the hunt for someone to run the conference until he literally bumps into an ideal candidate.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Bunch of papers have gone everywhere.
What? Repeat that exact phrase.
I said, bloody hell. Sorry, are you all right? Is everything okay?
You're perfect. Oh, yeah. I found him. Let's go. Let's
He
go.
whisks him off, and off they go to get the conversation started.
We're in.
Ioanna Roumeliotis, CBC News, Toronto.
Mental illness carries a terrible price all over the globe. Take a look at these numbers. According to the World Health Organization, mental illness is the #1 cause of disability. Just in Canada, it costs the economy $51 billion a year. And every single day, 500,000 people will miss work due to a mental health issue.